Okay, penultimate talk. Room is getting more populated. This is lovely. Liu Wei is a fifth-year PhD candidate at Tsinghua. His advisor is Professor Yuanji Li. Research interests fall in the satellite network and cellular network space. He's actively seeking job opportunities starting in 2026. Feel free to contact him if his research and background align with your interests. Welcome, thank you.
Thanks for the invitation. I'm Liu Wei from Tsinghua University, advised by Professor Yuanji Li. And in this talk, I will show you how satellite navigation become an Achilles heel for direct-to-cell satellite network, and how to achieve self-navigating satellite network. Space is the next frontier for mobile networks. Today, our regular phones can directly connect to satellites to get services almost anywhere. For example, Starlink has confirmed a commercial direct-to-cell SMS service and reported field tests with downlink speed around 70 megabits per second. Both iOS and Android phones now provide emergency satellite SOS messaging services. Direct-to-cell satellite isn't new. It has been there for decades, using GEO stationary satellites at an altitude of tens of thousands of kilometers. To access these services, we need dedicated phones with high-gain antennas, which are not affordable for most consumers. Recently, some satellite operators such as Starlink and Globalstar have begun providing mobile network service with LEO constellations. By operating at a lower altitude, they reduce energy cost and enable satellite connectivity for more affordable terminal hardware or regular phones. However, extending terrestrial mobile networks to space is still non-trivial. Unlike fixed infrastructure in the terrestrial mobile networks, satellites operate at a minimal altitude of 350 kilometers while traversing the globe at a speed of 7 kilometers per second. This long-range spatial temporal dynamics lowers satellite link availability with severe radio propagation delay and Doppler frequency shift, forcing frequent changes of serving satellites due to shortly visibility and complicating user authentication with diverse roaming policies, such as queues and building rules. So how to address these challenges? We observe that both the direct-to-cell operator and the standards organization adopt a common solution, a global navigation satellite system assisted direct-to-cell satellite network. They renovate cellular radio link size, authentication, and authorization with the assistance of runtime user geolocation and timing for external GNSS. Where effective, we found this approach creates an over-dependence on GNSS for a direct-to-cell satellite network. As mandated in 3GPP specification, if the user equipment does not have a valid GNSS position, it shall not transmit until it's regained. We also confirmed that both iOS and Android devices must first acquire their process location before initiating satellite access. However, GNSS is well known as prone to be out of service and mislocalization and radio interference and manipulation due to its weak signals from distant orbit. Ultimately, this over-dependence makes satellite navigation the Achilles heel of direct-to-cell satellite network. Now, let's dive into some details to see why satellite operator and the standards organization rely on GNSS, how it works, and how to compromise the availability, reliability, and the security of direct-to-cell satellites. Due to the time limit, I will focus on two functions, radio size and authorization. Let's begin with the radio size. In mobile network, an idle state user terminal's first step is to access the radio link. The key problem is that how the network knows when and at what frequency the terminal sends the access request. In the terrestrial network, base station detects the preamble signals from the terminal, extracting the timing and the frequency offsets from them. Subsequently, the base station sends signal link commands like timing advance to ensure the uplink signal arrive within the expected resource blocks. Some guard time in both time and frequency domain are allocated to tolerate the synchronization offsets. This process does not need GNSS information due to the limited distance and the relative motion. However, when enabling cellular radio links from the space, both the time and the frequency synchronization are challenged by LEO satellites' distant radio propagation delay and extreme mobility. Both the timing and the frequency will exceed the guard time or the guard band, disabling the radio access function. To overcome these challenges while minimizing the resource cost, 4G and 5G non-terrestrial network standards implement geolocation-based pre-composition of timing and frequency. Let's see how it works. First, the terminal gets its position for the GNSS satellites and the satellite's position and the velocity from the broadcast signaling, and then calculates and pre-composites for delay and Doppler frequency shift. This pre-composition enables random access channel to tolerate the residue offset, ensuring robust connectivity despite the satellite's long distance and mobility. While effective, what happens is the position from the GNSS is not available or not accurate. Our field test reveals that even small position errors in specific direction can compromise the satellite radio size. When navigation satellites become unavailable, such as under GNSS jamming tests, the radio size will fail. Both iOS and Android phones will be out of satellite SOS service when GNSS is not available. After time and frequency synchronization for radio size, the network must also authorize each user based on the roaming policy. Unlike terrestrial regional carriers, satellites offer global service with diverse location-dependent roaming policies. The satellites should ensure the user receives the appropriate service at the correct location. To achieve so, the user first obtains its position from the external GNSS and report it to the satellite. Then the network decided whether to provide the service and the policy based on the user's position. However, this method is also vulnerable to unreliable GNSS. When satellite navigation is unavailable or incorrect, the user may be authorized with incorrect roaming policy or just rejected for services. Moreover, it can also be exploited by attackers. For example, internal selfish user can alert their position to gain unauthorized services or lower price. External attacker can spoof the user's location to high cost or just forbidden areas to cause overbilling or denial of services. To summarize, we found that the cross technology or reliance propagates GNSS device to direct-to satellite network, leading to diverse issues. So how to solve this problem? An intuitive idea is to enhance GNSS reliability. This has been a long standing there, but fundamentally hard due to the GNSS wake signals from distant medium Earth orbit and small constellation scale. So how about enhancing direct-to-cell satellite to be able to operate without location and timing information? Well, it's possible to redesign some direct-to satellite functions to mitigate their needs for navigation at the cost of the incompatibility with regular phones. And it's generally hard, as shown before. Since the location and timing are so important, how about we combine GNSS and direct-to satellites to obtain the navigation information to active services? We introduced SN2, a self-navigating satellite network. Our key idea follows the classic freight sharing principle. Direct-to satellites themselves can serve as a navigation satellite. As long as LEO communication signals are available, users can always reuse them for navigation. Moreover, unlike distant GNSS satellites, LEO mega constellations are naturally closer to users, with better radio signals and more satellites, making them a dependable complement to GNSS. However, deep-set appealing direct-to satellites are designed for communication, not for high-precision navigation. The accuracy and the latency of navigation by direct-to satellites are fundamentally limited by their communication nature. Spending more time and more resources on positioning yields more accurate location, but this high position latency significantly reduces the network availability. So the key problem is that how to balance the trade-off between the network availability and the navigation accuracy. We propose a network-oriented self-navigation scheme for direct-to LEO satellites. Our insight is that the high-accuracy navigation information at the GNSS level is not always necessary for network functionality. Good enough location and timing information is all the network needs. To achieve so, we release and relax navigation needs for radio size, authentication, and authorization without compromising function correctness. I will explain in more detail in the specific functions. We first examine the radio size function. As introduced before, in timing synchronization, the terminal needs to compute its distance to the satellites for timing pre-compensation. The pre-compensated error cannot exceed the guard time. We found that this guard time can be mapped to a ring-shaped region of position on the ground. So what we really need here is that the position result is located within this ring. The same relation applies to the frequency synchronization. Instead of spending more time and more resources on more accurate location, a position within this relaxed zone is good enough for a successful radio access. Given that relaxed navigation demands, the terminal can run a localization algorithm using direct-to-cell satellites. It can reuse direct-to-cell satellites predictably broadcast downlink synchronization signals for ranging and localization. In the worst cases, only one legitimate direct-to-cell satellite is available. SN2 can still leverage this satellite's faster mobility to generate multiple virtual satellites for triangular localization. This method guarantees satellite access when all other satellites are spoofed. Of course, if GNSS satellites are available, SN2 can combine GNSS and direct-to-cell satellites to achieve faster radio access. SN2 also take a travel and error approach to let the terminal keep tamping to access the satellite in parallel. If the access time fails, it indicates that the position result is not accurate enough, so the terminal can continue refine it. Otherwise, the terminal can already access to the network and will not spend more time waiting for a more accurate position result. With these designs, SN2 can access to the radio link independently, even without GNSS, improving the network availability and reliability compared to the state-of-the-art. SN2's next task is to help the direct-to-cell satellites authorize the terminal with the correct roaming policy. State-of-the-art solution implicitly adopt a strong all-or-nothing model for GNSS. Instead, we observe that this strong navigation accuracy requirement can also be realized. In most cases, we have identified two opportunities. The first is the spatial temporal diversity of navigation needs. When the satellite runtime coverage are associated with identical roaming policies, for example, in the same country, it does not need the terminal's geolocation at all. If you can reach this satellite coverage, you are in this policy. These simple cases account for 91 to 99% of all satellite beams. Moreover, we found that navigation accuracy requirements also differ among the service types. For example, basic satellite messaging and voice calls only require beam coverage level geolocation to ensure the package reachability. To this end, SN2 offers an on-demand, non-blocking service model for authorization. After the terminal connects to the direct-to-cell satellites, it reports its location, runtime geolocation. In most cases, satellite networks do not require users' location verification and provide services directly. In some corner cases, such as policy area border, the network may request enhanced location accuracy. But even in these cases, the service latency will not be worse than the state-of-the-art. For details, please read the paper. We evaluated SN2 network availability, reliability, and security improvement over the state-of-the-art. We tested various COTS direct-to-cell devices with real satellites. We prototype SN2 with a 3PP NTN software protocol stack suite. We also evaluate SN2 against various external and internal attackers, including GNSS jamming and spoofing, and direct-to-cell satellite spoofing. First, SN reduced the service delay by 4 to 23 times compared to the existing solutions. This enables direct-to-cell satellite service when GNSS is not available, and it also improves network availability when combined with GNSS. This boost is attributed to SN2 reduction of positioning requirements in both radio size and authorization. SN2 can also tolerate GNSS jamming, spoofing, and direct-to-cell spoofing attacks. For details, please read the paper. To summarize, we found that the cross technology over-reliance on GNSS propagates defects to direct-to-cell satellite network. We present SN2, a network-oriented self-navigation scheme for highly available, reliable, and secure direct-to-cell satellite network services. This method is inconsistent with the classic field-sharing principle and extends the recent fusion of network communication and navigation from the perspective of network availability and the resiliency. That's all. Thank you for listening. I'm happy to answer any question.
I think I saw you. Did I see a hand? Yep, right here. Remember to introduce yourself.
It's a good work. I'm a PhD student from Beijing University of Post and Telecommunication. I see the improvements in your work in network availability, but from your PPT, I don't see the exercise of cost or the cost or some overhead.
Okay.
For example, would your solution cost too much power consumption, or will the tree-based approach introduce too much signaling?
Okay. Thank you, got you. Actually, in our paper, have a detailed overhead or cost analysis in our paper. I would say the overhead or solution is negligible or settable in both the communication and the computation. For the communication cost, our solution does not introduce any additional signaling. We just reuse the downlink signaling for the localization. And yes, people may wonder the travel-based approach may introduce some more signaling overhead, but I would say this issue not only happens in our solution, but also in the civil art, because especially when the GNSS is not available. Actually, we kind of mitigate this issue by utilizing more satellites for faster localization and faster radio access. And for the competition cost, because competition cost, the combination of real-time Doppler and timing frequency processing or continuous scanning is already available in the baseband of the mobile networks. So we just reuse it for the localization. So both the overhead is acceptable, I think.
Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, way up at the top there in the corner. Can we get a mic? Got about 1 minute left.
Thank you for the great talks, David from U of T. So I'm curious about the security perspective in the second last slide. So you've mentioned that it's protected against the spoofings. So I'm wondering, is it against all kinds of spoofings, or is it GNSS spoofing, or is it also protected against the maybe like the direct-to-cell signals as well?
Oh, okay. As I introduced in my talk, our solution can guarantee our borderline solution can guarantee the radio access as long as there is one legitimate dual-cell satellite, because we can use some single satellite-based localization algorithm to generate multiple virtual satellites for localization. And I think you are asking about how about all the dual-cell satellites are spoofed. I don't think in this situation, I think neither our solution or the state-of-the-art can work, because the phones cannot receive any legitimate signal from the dual-cell satellite. So, but I would say the spoofing all dual-cell satellites is really difficult, because they have a lot of satellites and lower altitude and much stronger power.
Thank you very much. Let's thank the speaker.